Oh, excuse me. Well, it seems the BBC, they're at it again. Now, it's been a while since I've done something on the TV licence, and I'll move this over a bit. And obviously it's in the news again. Now, when I look away from this, I'm actually so I can read. I'm checking my monitor here, okay? So, they're going away to increase the fees again after it's been frozen for 2 years. What fucking whoop-de-doo, right? So, obviously, unless you've had your head buried in the sand, it's now going to be going up in April, and it's going to be a £10.50 rise, and it's going from the current fee of £159 up to £169.50. That's the shite out the road. Let's get down to the nitty gritty on this, because I've got some. It's amazing. I've always said it with the media. This is one of the reasons I don't watch the news. I read it because I read what I want to hear. Okay, it's amazing. If you take a newscast of 30 minutes, you'll find that you can actually whittle it down to fucking 30 seconds, because if you take out anything to do with the government, you take out anything to do with wars, and you take anything to do with politicians, the A group that are film actors and things like that, you get that shite out the road. When you get into real news, if you're lucky, you'll find about 30 seconds worth of your time. So, but this one interested me because I can't believe the BBC are still being discussed. I can't believe that the BBC is still getting to rip the British public off. Okay, so it got me thinking of things, and the first one was, when did I last get a letter? You know, the threatening letters? Mine have got the red one, the gold one, the bronze one, the brown one. And I reckon it's been at least 4 months since I've had a threatening letter, and I've never had one visit. Not one. Never had a visit. So, I thought to myself, right, let's look at some of the feedback that's coming on here. Now, you can find all this information quite easily. It popped up on the Sky News website, okay? So, the reason I use that is Sky is meant to be, well, according to statistics, it's the #1 way to find news because they win all these awards. But like the BBC, you find that it's got people, that break the law as well, but have still kept their jobs, you know. So like there's people through COVID lost their jobs because they took a wee fucking car trip to go and see their family or nothing, but there's people still employed by Sky News here who broke the law by going to parties at COVID and things like that. So you can look these stories up yourself because, well, they've been swept under the carpet, you know. Anybody else didn't get their job back. There was people in the public, if I remember correctly, there was people were fined a lot of money and got a lot of heartache because through COVID they had a wee party for something. And yet, it seems to be if you're a politician or anything to do with the news, or if you are in the know, as they would say, you can do whatever the fuck you want by the looks of things. So, but here's how pathetic the figures are. Okay, so it said there that the BBC was already feeling the impact of people cancelling their TV licence. Now, there's a lot of stuff out of there. The main one a lot of people will probably go to is Chilly John Carney, because he dedicated his, well, he used to dedicate his site to that. I've not had nothing pop up for Chilly John for a while, but the figure they're quoting here is that 400,000 fewer have been taken out last year, and 1.7 million fewer licenses were purchased compared with 2017 to 2018. Now, if you take the 2017 to 2018 and add 5 years onto that, okay? 5 years is 400,000, 2 million, okay? So what they're really saying is that there's under 400,000 people over the last 5 years. This has been like a gradual build-up. And to me, that's a lot of shite this has been, because I can assure you there has been a lot more than 1.7 million people are not paying licenses, on top of the other people, like my good self, who do not purchase a license and do not hide the fact, because I don't need a license, okay? And I think the 1.7 could actually come into the 2007-2018 alone of people not paying for licenses. So I'm not sure where they base their figures on. Maybe it's the fear factor side with the threatening letters that they seem to no longer send. Who knows? But who cares? So it got me thinking, okay, how long ago was the TV licence introduced? Okay, so quite a simple thing. I just googled that, and it was the television. Actually, I tell you what, pause it right now, and just have a wee think, and you think about when the TV licence was introduced. Don't Google it. Just have a wee guess on how you think. Okay, I'll give you enough time to pause it. So, the TV licence was introduced in June 1946. Now, it says here that it's to coincide with the post-war resumption of the BBC service the same month. Television licences always included a licence to receive radio broadcasts. Now, 1946, when you look at it, right, so that's like, if you take, well, it's like 77 years ago from today's date, right? So, they bring out a law that you will now pay a fee for a TV licence, but 77 years later, the world has changed to a more diverse place. People are like, I don't know, but a lot of people use their phones a lot more. Computers, laptops, tablets. You know, people don't carry TV sets about with them. People don't just sit there in front of a box pushing a button. It's changed. When that came out, there was probably three TV channels on the TV at that time, because Channel 4 wasn't invented, neither was Channel 5. So you probably had BBC 1, BBC 2, and ITV. You know? Who knows, because it was 1946, and it was another 16 years had to pass until I was actually born. So then it got me thinking as well, because it's a law, right? They've managed to put it in as a law, but why do they not repeal laws? Is that the right word? Repeal? In other words, look at a law and update it and change it, right? I think repeal was the wrong word, okay? Before anybody fucking shoots me down here. But it then got me thinking about laws. Now, here's one to really look up at. Go onto your computer, right, and just, if you look at a website called legislation.gov.uk, okay? Now, basically, this was a link I found because I was looking about laws. Now, it's an English law site by the looks of it, but there are so many laws out there that, how the hell do you stay on top of them, you know? How do you find them? So basically, I took the year in 1946 and I thought, right, let's go and read up about what was said about the law for the TV licence. So I went in and I just searched 1946. And in the year of 1946, 299 new laws were introduced. And I'll tell you what, when you see the list of the 299, what a load of pish, right? So you've got the Cable and Wireless Act 1946, the National Health Service Act 1946, the Atomic Energy Act 1946, the Coinage Act 1946, and it fucking goes on and on and on. Aberdeen Harbour Order Confirmation Act 1946. And it got me thinking about all these acts, local acts, public general acts. There's a wee head there for them, eh? So, and there's only one thing that comes out of laws and acts, and that's that the government makes more money out of the poor people. So basically it's like your, what was the boy's name in the Robin Hood film? Him, King fucking whatever he was. So he stole all the money off of everybody, left people penniless, and you've got then Robin Hood came along and nice man for Nottingham, and he come in and he robbed for the rich and he gave back to the poor again. So, but when you look at this, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just, it just shows you how screwed up and how far behind that these acts, when they're put in, they're for a benefit of somebody financially. The amount of laws. Now, when you look at how much debt that Great Britain is actually in, okay, you will find that if you sit there and ask yourself a question, so you work, okay, that's the basic one, you work, and you pay tax and you pay national insurance, okay, so that money you've earned, you've paid tax on that money, okay, so you would think you would get to keep that money and spend it on what you want. No, because then they do other things like they put taxes on goods because it's a way of getting free money, and basically your TV licence is one of these goods, okay. So now you're at the stage with the TV licence going, what's next? Because bearing in mind, a couple of years ago they were talking about, when they put the freeze in on the BBC licence fee, that they were looking into models on how they can do it. Fuck me, some of the models that have came up, let's put an increase on your council tax, okay? So you're right, you'll put an increase on everybody's council tax, and then that way you don't need to buy a TV licence. But surely, if you don't need a TV licence, why should people's council tax increase? So they're going to charge you just in, come on, hey, if you want a TV licence or you want to watch your TV now, it's part of your council tax. So if you didn't want to watch TV, that's just tough shit. And you're just like, that's wrong. And that's only one of the many models that have came through. The other one to me would be easy enough is to put advertisements in, bring them into the same grade as your ITVs, Channel 4, Channel 5, Sky, Netflix. All these people take a fee for the service they give you. And to be honest with you, that's quite a good thing, because I used to watch a lot of Netflix until they put their prices up, and then they started doing adverts, and their service was absolute garbage. It used to be good, and it went right downhill. Why are they, as Netflix for instance, using adverts when you're paying a fee? If you're paying a fee, you shouldn't be watching an advert, okay? Adverts are at every place nowadays, okay? Even playing a wee game on your phone, you're fucking bombarded with, I can't even remember the name. It's the game with the king that keeps getting into trouble and help me, help me. And the irony about that one is it's the only game that advertised because it's the only game out there without adverts. What a load of shite, man. Honestly, you couldn't fucking write half of this stuff. So again, it's just another money-making scam. Bought my wife a phone the other day. I bought her a Google Pixel, right? And I thought, let's go for something different, because I'm fed up with buying Samsung and I'm fed up with buying Apple and the fucking bloatware that's on these phones. And you wouldn't believe the fucking hoops that I had to jump through just to get to the phone. Register for this, register for that, register for the next thing. Google services. And I know it's a Google phone, but you'd be amazed at what you have to sign up to on Google, as if they've not got enough of your fucking data to use a Google phone. To date, we've only had it 48 hours. I'm not sure whether she's going to keep it or not, but it just shows you how things are actually getting spoilt nowadays. And it's just, oh, I digress. So, but definitely, go and have a look at that. It's legislation.gov.uk. And go and try and find a law. Go and look at years of laws. So, I mean, I would like to look at that, actually. The Cable and Wireless Act, 1946. Right? And look at that. The first part of the introductory text is the transfer of shares and right to compensation therefore. It's all about money. Again, something that's all about money. So you need a bit of paper to do something, right? And your bit of paper does not, I mean, I could give you an envelope. At least an envelope's got a use, you put a letter into it. But a piece of paper that you're spending hundreds of pounds on, by the way, for this kind of shite. So, but let's go back to the BBC again. Gary Lineker, he'll be happy as fuck now, because him and the rest, that's another thing actually, I'm not even going to, it was sickening, but go and Google the top 10 wage earners at the BBC. Fuck me. Ridiculous. It is absolutely disgusting the amount of money that these people get paid for a wage off of your licence fee, right? Bearing in mind from your licence fee, because they're allegedly famous and they can do a better job than somebody else. Well, I beg to fucking differ. And I mean, to me, these kind of jobs, give them at least minimum wage, right? Truck drivers are on a certain wage, but they need to have a licence and it's a skill. But they're not on fucking over £1 million a year. Nurses and doctors, they need a skill. A nurse has to pay a licence so that she can nurse. What about it? What other job, right? Do you have to pay for a licence so that you can operate, right? And once she's got the licence, the first thing she's hit with is fucking taxes. And she's told what she's going to have is a shitey wage. And Mr. Lineker, does he need a licence? Oh. Do you mind last year he got looked at for tax evasion? And it turned out what happened was he got out because he said he was freelancing. By the time you get through that smoke screen, he's walked off it. Did the BBC pay his tax bill? Nothing else is mentioned about it, I can assure you not. So, few things I've picked up on there. I'd love to hear in the comments below, actually, are any of you guys still getting your letters? Has anybody had a visit? But most of all, is there anybody in the last 12 months, right, stopped paying for a TV licence? I would love to be bombarded with people going, believe, no, the story's just no licence from, and then the year you stopped paying. I would love to be able to get, and if I can get enough data out of that, because unfortunately I sometimes didn't even get a 100 views on my stuff, but I would love to get data like that to give to you guys. So, enough waffling. Happy Friday. Let's see how this goes. Until the next one, I'll say the how to switch this fucking thing off.